I get that it's 2 games. I get that the tendency is to overreact when you've seen a bunch of touchdowns for your team. That's why I didn't cite the score. That's why I didn't say they are this or that. I just said they are playing the right way. But they are not devoid of talent either. And they are running a system. And this was the great gamble. And we did say, hey, look, Castellanos the passer, whatever. Castellanos the runner, yes. And if you're going to use them in a system like this, you got to utilize the legs, then fine. We should be all right. Now, in this game, you could throw it around the lot a little bit because obviously going up against an inferior team. But all of the pieces and the things that you did in terms of going out and bringing in the offensive lineman, but also your offensive line coach, how quickly Tony White and Herb Hand and Gus Malzahn and these coaches have been able to get these kids in these systems to run it as smoothly as they have and as efficiently as they have. Really good signs, obviously, of future success, but it's also a really good sign that they've taken to it. The personnel system, it's a nice marriage right now. Very nice marriage.
Yeah, I think what it's fair to say about this team is they're going to get the most out of what they are. The coaches are going to get the most out of what the players are, and the players are going to, on an individual level, work hard enough to get the most out of their abilities. And that is all we could ask for preseason. And honestly, I didn't know what that meant in terms of wins and losses. And now that number looks kind of high. Like, this feels like, and I'm sure we'll do it this week because we promised to do a W's and L's check-in after 2 games. 9.5 is what you're going to set the over-under at right now?
Yeah.
Is that too low? Is it 10.5? It's probably 9.5.
It's probably 9.5. But the interesting thing about it is, like, you can say, look, having seen them beat Alabama playing the way that they did and how intense and focused they seem to be and how businesslike and buttoned up they were in a game in which they were going to easily win, and they maintained it through all 4 quarters. They did a lot of things that I think ultimately reward those kids who practice so hard, the kids who basically have to run scout, the kids who are tackling dummies. Everybody got in the game. All those kids got an opportunity to shine. And so the investment that we're describing is not only maintained, but I think heightened every time you're able to do that. That's why playing a lot of people, nearly 90, is important. Because now when you're asking them to sacrifice every day, football practice is hard, as I point out, and you're asking kids to do a lot of these kids are not going to play on a Saturday where you have a real opponent. They're not going to be in the Virginia game. They're not going to be in some of these other games. But you give them that donut, that biscuit, that treat this week and next game, and that investment will sustain itself over and over and over again, and probably even grow stronger. So those are all reasons to get really excited. We didn't mention it, but we should, since we're assessing what was. I talk about the commitment to playing a certain way to a standard, but there were actual X's and O's and personnel decisions that are worth talking about. Sperry getting in the game second.
Yeah.
I texted you the second it happened, but
of course you did.
Yes, and you had to smile. Because I wondered, you cannot hear Gus Malzahn talk about that young man. Gus is not wanting to do interviews. He doesn't enjoy standing there to talk to anybody.
Never. Now, he will enjoy being at the quarterback club.
Yes,
interviews.
He can't wait being at the quarterback club. Yeah. But my point is, it's not his thing. He doesn't like to do it. And yet, every time if he's ever asked about the quarterback room, when Sperry's name comes up, he perks up a little bit. He loves it. So, yeah, it's funny. He's like, he's a good football player.
Now, Brock has been dealing with some things.
Yeah.
And Sperry has been dealing. Okay.
He loves him.
He does.
And by the way, he looked good. Now, again.
Yes. He looked composed. Check all the boxes. Everything that you're looking for. Calm. He was able to break off a non-designed run, and then they called the design run, and he looked very natural in that situation. The rollout to the right on the touchdown. I mean, yes, it's going to be a touchdown. You can't hardly miss that. Some people might chip bricks in that moment. He didn't.
We saw a quarterback who could miss it last year.
That's right.
A lot.
But everything about his on-field presence looks like a veteran, And that's where I would agree, where Gus said yesterday at his press conference, he's different for a true freshman. Yeah. He looks calm. He doesn't look flustered. That's a home crowd and a blowout. You hope you don't have to test him this year on the road in a hostile environment, but I can see why they like the kid.
Well, he's also just a perfect fit for what they're trying to do. His skill set works within this offense. And so you have a guy that's perfectly suited to run Gus's system. I mean, if he plays to his strength, it falls right into what Gus wants to do.
And you dare to dream in a moment like this. If you're trying to sell, a lot of times companies are trying to sell nostalgia.
Sure.
But I think in a week like this, you're trying to sell the future. And you've got touchdown passes from Sperry to Boggs and Sperry to Chroma. I mean, come on, man. Dare to dream.
And by the way, the touchdown pass to Boggs is like this great reward for doing all the other things right. The blocking.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely.
The blocking.
He's invested in the little things.
That's what I mean. You get the ball in this offense if you do all the things without the ball. All of the things without the ball leads to you getting the ball. That is dangled all the time.
This is something that should be pointed out. We have a little bit of a window into the program because of a connection through the staff. But the coaching staff told Javen Boggs to follow what Deuce Robinson does, to follow him around, to learn the ways of what it takes to be a high-level college athlete. Even though Deuce hadn't been extremely proven at USC, the way that he came to campus here was on a mission, thinking like a professional. And so when Boggs gets on campus, he was directed the way of Deuce Robinson in terms of this is the standard. This is how you should carry yourself. And you could see it in the details on the field, in the way he blocks, the way he handles himself. And it's great to see on a day like this in which Deuce Robinson shines and goes for 160 in the first quarter. That second touchdown of which with the body control and the adjustment, outstanding. It's great to see that an understudy of sorts, who already has cracked the starting lineup, gets rewarded for doing a bunch of little things.
I want to point out, because when you rewatch the game, these kinds of things really stand out. They did in real time too. But I think when you go rewatch a game like this, obviously, we know what the final score was, but go watch. I did a lot of the celebrating with the players, watching walk-ons get opportunities to make plays, but also starters playing hard, even when it's a 4 or 5 touchdown lead. There's 2 plays that stand out under that umbrella. Starters playing hard, scores already lopsided. Darrell Jackson doesn't make the play, but he is hustling to make the play, and he's a 335-pound man, and it's hot. And I think it was 28-0 or 35-0 at the time. And he is chasing the ball to the far sideline after having gotten in the backfield, initially penetrating, gets juked, guy circles back around, and then all of a sudden you see Darrell just still running as fast as he can to that other sideline to make a play. Buddy, a year ago, we never saw that from guys, or seldom saw it from guys, any of the guys.
It was like Lola Haya, and that was it.
You never, just when you're looking out there and you see that, you're like, that's the difference. Tony's going to talk about all the things they have to clean up, and he did, and he's going to mention those things. And a coach is always striving for perfection. You're chasing that along the way you run into excellence. You know there's not going to be a perfect game. Mistakes are going to get made. But if you continue to pursue that, and you convince kids to do that it's in their best interest as individuals, but also collectively, that we'll attain this sort of unreachable goal if you just do this, right? It's so much easier said than done, though. It's hard in the moment. It is hard when it's 92 degrees out and you're up by 5 touchdowns. And yet you see it. You see it with every kid. They love to play for him. And they're doing it on offense too. So, give credit to Mike and Gus as well. I mean, they've got him doing it.
Well, when Tony was hired and you reached out to your contact in Nebraska, I got to talk to him for an interview as well. There were 3 words he used to describe Tony White: leader of men.